What's going on, guys? No Rain, No Rainbows podcast. Glad you're tuning in for this episode. We got a good one for you. Nate C, you heard?
What's going on?
What's going on, man?
Ain't nothing much.
Oh, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to let us sit down and talk to you. For anybody listening right now that might not know who you are, why don't you introduce yourself really quick?
My name is Nate C, the Chief. That's what I go by. I am a DJ. I am from South Carolina and been DJing for about, since 2012, so 6 years. I'm also a music producer. Been doing that since, I don't know, since I was 16, so a few years ago. And yeah, I DJ for the Furman Paladins, all their sporting events.
Well, shout out to a Furman graduate.
Oh, yeah.
Andre Settles. Yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
You already know.
He scored a few touchdowns
You know
for the
what I'm
Paladins.
caught a couple passes.
But let's talk about the DJ, man. Don't be modest, because not only do you DJ for Furman, but you're a resident DJ here in Greenville.
Yeah, resident DJ here. Play a nightclub, one of the best clubs in the upstate. I say that without bias. Like, I don't know, there's not anything that's really touching it right now. I mean, something could come along later. It's called Vine Nightclub. I was voted by the people as best DJ 2 years in a row. So those of you out there that have voted for me, thank you. Let's do it again.
Three-peat.
Yeah, three-peat. Then I'm done campaigning. You know what I'm saying? Even get 3 rings, and I'm good.
That's it. The hand gets a little heavy after that.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's so easy to see you kind of up on that podium at Vine. I've rocked with you a few times. Always a fun time, and with no hesitation, when people talk about DJs in the upstate, your name's always in that pot. What are some of the biggest challenges you came across trying to climb that ladder, man?
Well, the thing about DJing is, and especially with the scene, with the nightclub and the bar scene, is that you kind of have bosses. I'm an independent contractor, but I still have a boss, like, the guy that pays me at the end of the night, or the girl. And I have to please the owners and the managers as well as please the people. And so sometimes, that's the owners and the managers and the people aren't really on the same page. Mm-hmm. So finding that sweet spot to where you can kind of make everybody happy, I feel like that's one of the things that I'm good at and has kept me relevant and kept me in the game.
Kind of like the moderator. Almost.
Yeah. It's like, just trying to be the people's champ, but still trying, but trying not to be a sellout. It's it's crazy, but I feel like being able to balance the two, keeping the owners and the managers happy as well as keeping the people happy and having fun. That's what it's all about.
That's got to be hard, though. Like, what's the priority list kind of look like for that? Because, I mean, sure, the owners are the ones that pay your check. The people are the ones that give the owners the money to pay your check. But at the end of the day, self-fulfillment, you're working for yourself. You want to be happy. Yeah,
that's true. And every gig is different. Mm-hmm. So I have to dig and find out what is this gig, what's the best part about it, and try to get to that. In a place where, on Thursdays, I play this place that probably holds about 120 people, so not a lot. Mm-hmm. So sometimes the night is me playing a old song or a rare song that nobody really is rocking with, and try to see if I can get somebody nodding their head or something like that. So, sometimes that's a win, and that's all I care about.
Yeah.
And then, sometimes it's, having a room full of people and then making sure it's like, all right, they're in here, they're having fun, they're having a couple of drinks, let's get them dancing. Mm-hmm. And so, getting a dance floor actually started is sometimes the win. You just got to kind of find different things, find little wins here and there, find out what moves you. And it is also in line with what you need to do for the night. And then, I feel like once you get good at doing those little things, it's like everything just kind of comes together.
Yeah.
And next thing you'll find a little groove, and
then you get your own style.
Yeah, you get your own style, and everybody's like, oh man, yeah, I actually had fun that night. Let's go see him next time he's there.
Yeah.
So,
man, there's so many different avenues I want to dive in on that based on what you were saying, because I feel like with DJing, you do a lot of people watching. So we'll circle back on that.
Yeah.
But first, kind of with the whole kind of climb and getting up there, there's challenges as a DJ, but how did you start getting into DJing? Like, what was the big challenge for the barrier of entry, if you would?
The barrier was, I guess it was, so like I said, I started making beats when I was 16, right? So, and then I started rapping, and so, and that was, I was a rapper at one point, and so the hardest part about being a rapper is like there's no gigs for rappers. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, what can I do to showcase my rapping ability and my original songs, but still get out here in front of people and still be able to, make a couple dollars. So I would hold my own parties, and then I would, I wouldn't necessarily DJ. I would have like a playlist of the popular songs that were popping at that point in time, and then I would like sneak in one of my own songs. And while I'm sneaking it in, I would get on the mic and I would kind of like, I would perform it.
Yeah.
And then I would perform like one or two of my songs and go back to the stuff everybody knows.
Did people like it?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, and sometimes you would do remixes of like, I would take out a verse of a song that's playing right now, and I would make my own verse. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, what's this? He's rapping. Oh, wow. I thought I knew this song, but he's got his own version. Yeah. And then boom. And then after that, I was like, all right, cool. Y'all like that? That was cool. Let me give you back this other stuff that you do know. And then that way, like I said, back to the owners and the managers. So they're like, that was different. Yeah. But he's back to this other stuff that I do know. So all right, whatever. We'll let it slide.
That's so funny that, I mean, did you plan that, or was that kind of just your instincts?
That was definitely planned. Like, I went in, I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try it and see if it works. And if they book it, if I have a good night, if I have a bad night, if they have me back, then that's a win. Yeah. So then it got to the point where, hey, I'm going to do that thing I did last month again this month. They were like, okay, yeah, that was fun. Where you going to do some of your own songs again? And I'd be like, yeah. They're like, all right, cool. Sure. We're coming out.
That's crazy. You did that.
And so that was the whole rapping thing. And then the DJ part is when I would, like I said, I was a rapper, and I had good mic MC ability. Yeah. So I would MC while one of my homies, DJ Apollo, while he would DJ. And so he's like, all right, yeah, just work the mic, get the crowd hype, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I would do that for him. And then all of a sudden one day he just threw on my song. He's like, do it. And so I was like, so I did one of my songs. And so, it was kind of like I said, the barrier was like making sure I did my own thing, but like not be weird to the people or not get the managers or the owners' attention so much. They were like, all right, dude, stop doing your own stuff. Yeah. It's horrible. Yeah. Like, all right, even if my song was bad, I did one and I got off. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, if you blinked, you missed it.
You snuck it in.
Yeah. So it's like, finding little avenues to try to get, like you said, like get what I wanted out of it. Get what made me happy, but kept the people at least interested. And then eventually like, okay, yeah, we like that.
And that's so huge, man. Like that creativity. I hear that story. And pretty much the barrier of entry for you was your creativity. Yeah. You figured out how to sneak in there, man. And like, it's funny because I don't even think you were doing this. I just finished reading a book called The Power of Habit. And they talked about Hey Ya, Andre 3000, Outkast. Yeah. They said how there was an algorithm that said it was going to be a very popular song. But when it first came out, people didn't like it. Right. And radio stations literally would play the top 40 the top songs everyone liked, and they snuck Hey Ya in. And as they kind of snuck it in, people started to get familiar with it and just accepted it, because literally they'd go as extreme to playing the number one song, Hey Ya, and then the number one song. Yep. And people just were like, okay, we'll take Hey Ya, and it ended up becoming a huge hit. Yep. So I think you kind of did that same thing of sneaking your stuff in there. Now, what did it look like when you're trying to do all these gigs and probably still trying to pay the bills at the same time? Like how are you kind of pulling money in while getting started?
Well, I still had a full-time job. At one point I was a restaurant manager, which I feel like I feel like I had an advantage because I knew what the managers wanted. Mm-hmm. So once I started, you know, at the end result, me being a DJ full time and like knowing what the managers are thinking. So I feel like I still have that advantage today because like I know what the managers are thinking. I know what you want me to do, and I know what I want to do, and I'm going to try to make us both happy. Mm-hmm. But backing up, I was still doing, you know, 40, 60 hours a week. 40 hours a week in a restaurant business is a vacation. So yeah, you work in a restaurant, you pulling 50, 60, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I was still doing that. And then like on my days off or whenever I would sell, you know, whenever I would have a night off, I would work on my own music. And that's back when I was still rapping and whatnot. Now I got a factory job. I worked at a BMW manufacturing, and I was on day shift. I got out of the restaurant business because it was time for me. Mm-hmm. And then I was still, you know, I was doing 40, 50 hours there, and then I was emceeing for the DJ on the weekends. And then even then, like he wasn't, you know, he had his own bills, so he wasn't paying me. Mm-hmm. But he would let me MC for him, and then it got to the point that where he was like, "Hey, I need help DJing. Do you want to try to DJ?" So what I would do was I would work my 40 hours or 50 hours or whatever it was, and then on the weekends I would DJ 1 or 2 gigs. And so I was doing that like nonstop. So that's like 7 days a week, just grinding. And so I was renting equipment. So I was taking my checks from work, taking my checks from DJing, and then saving it, buying my own equipment so I didn't have to rent anymore. Yeah. And then, you know, doing that over and over and over again, you know, I finally got some stuff to where I could like, all right, I don't need to rent anybody else's stuff to DJ. I can do this all on my own. Mm-hmm. So then it got to the point to where I was making more money DJing than I was my full-time job, because I was getting like 2 or 3 gigs a week. But then now I'm burning the candle at both ends. I'm exhausted, yeah, and you know, going to work crazy early after staying out all night, and so I had to make a choice. Mm-hmm. And eventually, the choice was DJ. Yeah, the choice was DJ, and I had taken all my vacation time, so I was taking vacation time out of my 40-hour week job to go DJ, and I ran out of time. So. I was gonna say I wanted to stop and jump into that. You took vacation time. Yeah. Not to go to the beach. Nope. Not to kind of kick your feet up. Nope. You just to go work someplace else. Yep. To go pursue what I wanted to do. Yeah. How many hours, if you just had to give a brief estimate in the peak of DJing and holding your 40-hour job, how many hours a week would you think you were grinding overall? 40 hours a week at least at the job, and I feel like, man, so like 70. At the peak, mm-hmm, you know, 70 altogether. Yeah. And anybody that's listening right now or watching, if you're watching on YouTube, you guys got to know if you're kind of starting with your grind and you have a side hustle, that's what it's going to be. The side hustle is a side hustle until it could replace the main hustle. And it sounds like for you, you kind of got on par with the two. Yeah, it got to where I was like, all right, if I stay at it, if I stay diligent, do what I'm supposed to do, treat it like a real job, because you know it is. Mm-hmm. So if I just focus in on what I need to do, a lot of times when people say I work for myself, I can take off whenever I want. You know what I'm saying? you take off when you got a lot of money saved up. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you know, it's you know, for me, I don't work, I don't get paid. Yeah. So you know, just when you in it, go, and especially if it's your passion, you should want to go to work. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, sometimes I hate going to sleep because I feel like there's not enough hours. There's so much other things I could be doing right now. So, and when I do go to sleep, you know, I'm probably up at 4:30. Like, all right, let's get my day started. Yeah. Because I'm ready to work because I love what I do. Yeah, yeah. You know? On Instagram, about to school some kids in basketball at 5 a.m. Yeah, yep. I want to talk about, what was that moment like when you put your 2 weeks in at work and you took that jump? Yeah. It was scary a little bit, but I was definitely ready. Like, I was excited about it. I was like, hey, just to let you know, after this date, I won't be back. And I'm like, really? I'm like, yeah. And it's a factory job, so you're pretty much another number. So they see this all the time. People quitting and stuff like that. So, but I was like, and my boss at the time was kind of knew what I was doing. He was like, all right, you gonna try to DJ full time? I was like, yeah, man, I think I can do it. And so he's like, all right, man, cool.
Yeah.
So, and it was cool. And I'll tell you this, the second week I was out of work, I lost my Thursday night gig.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I lost my Thursday night gig. They were like, hey, we're too slow on Thursdays and we can't have you anymore. Or you can take a pay cut. And it was like over half. You know what I mean? I'm like, golly, all right, whatever. I was like, all right, well, I didn't plan for this, but we're gonna see what's gonna happen. And so I ended up doing away with that Thursday, and then another bar down the street was like, hey, I hear you're not doing Thursday night at this place anymore. Would you want to come to my place? I'm like, yeah, cool.
Let's go.
And I've been there ever since. City Tavern. I've been there ever since. They a business that is not here anymore dropped me on Thursdays, and City Tavern picked me up, and I've been there ever since.
Nice. What are some of the biggest victories you've had as a DJ? Because I mean, you just mentioned losing the Thursdays, picking up another Thursday, and holding that up until now. I mean, there's got to be a lot of ups and downs in the business.
Yeah, it definitely is, and just making sure you staying on top of your game and trying to do your best and get better. I feel like, especially as a owning your own business, like you don't get a promotion. You have to work harder and make more money. You have to figure out how do you want to do that. Are you going to put more hours in? Are you going to raise your rates? Are you going to offer more? Figuring out what's going to be the best situation for you. And so I feel like it's been a few victories. One of my victories was actually getting to be the official DJ for the Furman Paladins. They brought me on, and it's not a bar gig, it's not a nightclub gig, but it's something that I'm passionate. I love sports. They brought me on in basketball first, and so I was like, yeah, I would love to DJ for the basketball team. And so I'm thinking men's, right? So I go into the first game, because all I had was a schedule. So I go into the first game, it was the women's basketball team. I was like, oh, maybe I'm just doing the women's. But it turns out I was doing the women's and the men's. But the first year I did it, the women's team was really good. Yeah. And I was like, man, this is awesome. You know what I mean? So, it turned, and then doing a good job there turned into say, hey, we're going to add you to football. So that was another, what I'm saying? I'm like, this is great. And then this year they added me to volleyball. Now volleyball, crazy. Like it's such a fast paced sport. And, those are like little wins for me. Other wins I've had is like meeting some of my heroes and actually playing opening for them. Just last month, September. Yeah. October, September. Yeah. So last month, I opened for pretty much, he's dubbed the greatest DJ of all time, which is, his name is DJ Craze. And he actually signed one of my turntables over here.
Nice.
So yeah.
We'll have to get a picture of that.
He signed one of my turntables. He signed a mixer with his name and a phrase I can't say on here, but appreciate you, Craze.
For the kids.
Yeah. But opening for him, and then after we were done, it was after 2 a.m. and the bars closed at 2 a.m. But he just sat around and was chatting with all of us. It was pretty cool. So those are like little wins like that. I didn't make much money that night, but to be able to open for and talk to one of my heroes as a DJ, it's like you can't put a price tag on that. Yeah, for real. Man, what would you say kept you going that whole time? I mean, through the ups and downs, and I mean, I think looking at your journey, it's far from over. You still got a whole bunch more success ahead of you. You know what? I know you hate going to sleep and you're up at 4:30 a.m., but other than the gig of DJing, what wakes you up in the morning? This is something, back, if you would ask me when I was a teenager, I would have wanted to have been a big time producer, or ask me if I was in my early 20s. Yeah, I want to be a rapper, but being able to be a musician, being able to make a living off of music is probably that's definitely what keeps me going. And like my work shirts from my 40-hour week jobs, I keep them in my closet. Like I don't want to go back to that. Like I love what I do. That's what keeps me going. Like, you know, I just had a daughter. Like I spend my days at home with her. That's what keeps me going. Like you know, these are all the things that this being able to work for myself. And you know, people. I feel like sometimes the word hustle has a negative connotation to it, but like hustling keeps me at home. I get to watch my kid grow up. Yeah. Like what? Like I'm a hustler. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a hustler, yes, but if you have a day job, you pay $150 to $200 a week for daycare. I don't.
Yeah.
You know, I get to watch my little girl grow up. You know, and you know that keeps me going. And I don't know. It's you know, just stuff. It all just kind of snowballs, and like I'm just blessed to be able to, you know, work for myself and do what I love for a living. And
it's a beautiful thing, man.
It's great. It's great. I love it.
What's I guess without spoiling anything you might be releasing in the future or whatnot, what are some of the projects you're working on now and the big goals you're kind of eyeing?
So I would like to at some point be a touring DJ. That's kind of where my promotion is. That's the kind of promotion I would like to take. Being able to go out here and make, you know, make more money than I could make at home. You know, being a headlining DJ, putting out my own music. I just entered a contest that, you know, showcases some of the music that I make, and hopefully I'll be, if I'm noticed as one of the top 8, I get to go to New York in November. So
it was a dope entry, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. So yeah, that's one of my goals, man. And you know, whatever I got to do to keep myself out of a desk job, and being able to make enough money to put my kid through college.
Yeah,
you know, that's what I'll do.
I love it. I gotta talk about social media really quick. Okay. Because I always joke around like, man, if ever the DJing thing doesn't work out for Nate, he might as well just go into comedy. Because your Instagram always has us laughing and aftermath and even in the mornings when you're challenging the kids that are playing basketball across the street.
Yeah. He's right across the street. He'd probably be out here in about 30 minutes.
Do you need to warm up?
No, I went ahead and put my shoes on. I did some stretches earlier. I think I'm good. I'm good to go. Yeah, man, social media, it's funny you bring that up, man. Like lately, because I've been so busy with, you know, trying to get stuff done. Social media is easy to get up and, you know, tell a funny story, or to even get caught, you know, in the whole scrolling thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's everybody else doing? So if you see me lately, I have 2 phones. And one is just my phone that you can call me and it has email on it, and that's about it. And my other phone that is not activated has all my social media on it. And so a lot of times, like, I ain't gonna lie, I'll get distracted with social media and lose time on what I'm doing throughout the day. So rather, you know, I still like to get on there. I still like to, you know, cut up and have fun, like, and everything. But, you know, especially on my days, Monday through Wednesday, when I'm on the computer, I'm getting my schedule ready and working on beats, working on mixes and stuff like that. Like, I kind of shut social media down. So that's kind of something that I have felt like I needed to do to get to my goals. Yeah. Being funny on Instagram is definitely fun, and I definitely like that people appreciate it. But, you know, I've just had to take a couple of days a week off from it to focus on exactly what I need to focus on.
Would you ever do an open mic night?
Maybe.
I'll do it with you.
Maybe. I mean, you know, I gotta write some fire jokes though, man.
Sure.
I gotta write some fire. I can't be going up there improving. Boo!
Get off the stage. Well, you spoke really quick. I want to touch on it when you were kind of saying get distracted and everything. Yeah. Working for yourself, you have nobody on you.
Nope.
To keep working everything. How do you stay organized and stay productive?
I write things down. If somebody calls me and they're like, "Hey Nate, can you DJ this night?" I'm like, "Hey, give me 2 hours to get back to my calendar." I'm like an old person, but like it works for me, you know. And you know, the calendar is a big part of it. Writing down my goals for the week, writing down my goals for the day. A lot of times before I go to sleep, which I probably should change that because I'll write down before I go to sleep, all right, what I'm going to do tomorrow. And so I'll write it down. And then sometimes I'm like, oh man, I got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow. And, you know, sometimes I'll lose sleep over it. But, you know, writing those things down, that kind of keeps me focused. And, you know, you hear all the time people say, write things down, you'll get things, you know, it's good for your psyche. It's good for a lot of things. And I really do believe in that. So,
yeah. Well, where can folks find you if they want to kind of hear any of your mixes or follow you on Instagram when you are active on it?
Yeah.
How can they get in touch with you?
I try to post a little something.
Yeah.
Now, you catch me, you know, when I'm out DJing Thursday through Sunday, I'm on it. You know, I'm on it. But you can catch me on Instagram and I'm tweeting a little bit now.
I'm trying to tweet more.
Man, it's rough, man. Like I'll tell you another thing I'm doing. I'm getting away from Facebook and going to Twitter. I'm not, you know, that's just my thing.
Sure.
Like, I'm not going to sit here and down one social media platform over another, but that's what I'm doing. So Twitter and Instagram is at Nate C. You heard. So NATECYAHEARD.
You heard?
You heard? Nate C. You heard. That's on Twitter and Instagram. My YouTube, I put a lot of like my little DJ videos and routines and performances and stuff on YouTube. You can find that. Nate C. the Chief. I have a podcast where I post. I don't do a talk show podcast, but I post like 30-minute mixes, 30 minutes and more mixes. You can find that on Apple Podcasts. It's called Nate C. the Chief Radio.
Sure,
you can do that. And I ain't even told you yet, but I got to get your T-shirt size. You know what I'm saying? I got some.
Medium.
You too. I got some. Medium. I got some T-shirts on the way. I guess I'll go ahead and drop it, man. I'll go ahead and let you guys know. It's called. So instead of having a DJ shirt with, hey, you know, Nate C. the Chief, my favorite DJ or whatever, I didn't want to do that. But I'm doing something that has kind of like a double meaning. I'm calling it Long Live.
Nice.
So basically, like, you know, the first couple runs of T-shirts are going to be, you know, just pretty much logo based. You know, so you know, get that in your mind of what it is. But a lot of the collaborations we're going to be doing are going to be celebrating the gift of life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it won't happen this October because October's come pretty fast. But I want to do a breast cancer awareness design.
Nice.
And give, you know, a portion of that to I believe it's
Susan G. Company?
Yes. Yes.
I did a 3-day walk back in the day.
What that?
Yeah, I did a 3-day walk back in the day.
Oh, nice.
60 miles in 3 days.
Nice.
Oh wow. No.
He's shaking his head.
Wow. you love the tatas, boy. I'm trying to tell you.
Nice, man.
And, you know, my wife loves dogs, so I'm gonna do a collaboration and do a dog influenced design and give some of that to the one of the shelters around here. So
awesome.
So, you know, got some things on the way.
Yeah, well, always working on something, man.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna be in the front row watching the success story. If you're watching this on YouTube, Nate C. the Chief, you see the logo right over here.
Oh, yes.
There, it's up there.
Ooh, like that. Ooh.
Yeah, you gotta love the hustle, man, and keep putting in that work. When I'm up in the mornings anchoring, it'll be 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And there are a few people I can text, message, or holler at that time, and you're one of them that's up and ready to go.
Let's do it.
Early bird gets the worm. Guys, hopefully you got some value from this. Some of the main takeaways, if you have any ambition of working for yourself, if you have a side gig you're working on, it's going to take a lot of work to get to that point. Some creativity to break into your niche, and definitely listen to the market. Put that stuff out there. Guys, I believe in you. I know you can do it. Thanks for listening to this episode of No Rain, No Rainbows. Everybody wants the sunshine, but they don't want the rain. But you can't get the pleasure without a little pain. Peace.
Joy and rain, like sunshine and rain.